Hey.
Hello, sir.
Hey, buddy. Hey, kiddos. Whoop. Thanks for calling, man. I just had to run upstairs real quick.
Oh, yeah, no worries, no worries. Oh, I hate your hat.
You're the second Californian to say that over Skype.
Yeah, I'm a Wisconsinite first.
You're a Green Bay Packers guy.
Just like everyone should be.
I don't blame you. I'm glad that we're getting your old coach. I think that it's an improvement over Jason Garrett, and I think
I'm scared of you guys now.
I think I think we finally have your number. And that's the one thing that we really have struggled with over the last few years is Green Bay. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen you with that much facial hair, if any.
There it is.
It looks like you and I are both on the same pace for the beards.
Well, I usually get the haircut. I get everything done before I fight. My fight got canceled, so you know what? I'm not trimming anything until I get a fight back up.
You know what? Here's the deal, Sam Alvey. We just spoke with Sam Alvey, UFC light heavyweight, a few weeks ago. It wasn't even that long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And we were kind of discussing UFC Columbus. It was either right after or right before it was canceled. You were supposed to fight Khalil Rountree. I remember because the soundbite that we chose for the headline was that you are the knockout artist to look out for, not Khalil. And I've called an emergency meeting here because last night some really crazy news came out, and it was almost surreal. You almost didn't believe it until you read it from 3 or 4 different sources. There is a fight card. I think it's 11 fights. UFC 249. No location is disclosed at this time, unless Sam Alvey knows. And
yeah, you want to know where it's at? I have no idea where it's at. They haven't told me.
You don't even know.
No, I don't know where I'm going yet.
So let me understand this. So your wife does all of your managerial duties for your pro career, yeah?
Yes.
So what's going on over there at the Alvey household? How did this whole thing come together? I mean, after you and I spoke last and your fight got canceled, what has transpired, and how did you get on this card?
Yeah, well, the fight was canceled. About a week later, we got an email from the UFC saying, "Hey, if we get you an opponent, would you want to fight on the 18th?" I said, yes, any opponent. Give us. They said, okay, it'll probably still be Khalil, but keep training or do what you can. I said, okay, I'll do that. And then we didn't hear from him for a week. I mean, not an email, not anything. I said, oh, we're probably not fighting. Probably not. And maybe I'll stop dieting so hard. He said, no, I'm going to give it just another couple days, and then I'm going to diet. Quiet, Reagan. I'm on the phone, pretty one. And he said, nope, I'm going to continue on everything. Close the door, Reagan. Sorry, I've got too many kids. Too many of them.
It's okay. As long as everybody's healthy right now.
Yeah, everyone's good. Just pain in the butt.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Speaking of...
This last Sunday, I got another email, and they said, "All right, it's on. You want to fight this guy? Khalil can't make it, so we have a new opponent for you." He said, let's do it.
You want another one?
Yeah, another one. Well, hello, little one. Well, goodbye, little one.
Okay. Well, there he goes. That's my assistant producer, everybody. All right, so they emailed you guys, and then, was there ever a time when you're even now you probably have to kind of be like a little skeptical, right? I mean, especially up until now. I mean, Dana White's talking about private islands and all this craziness.
Which is awesome. Maritime law. Just go 20 miles out, we'll get a big boat. It'll be amazing. Nervous? I guess I'm still nervous. I suspect, and I don't know anything, I suspect they're not releasing a location so that the media won't go nuts on wherever that location is. I suppose they're not going to tell anyone where it is until they absolutely have to give the media less time to try and pick it and tell them how terrible this location is. And that's my guess. So I don't know where it is. I guess a casino, an Indian reservation, get off the U.S. government's dime and get onto some tribal land. That would be my guess.
Well, I have a lot of questions about that too, because I think, and I can't remember if we broached the subject when we spoke last. I believe that we did, because I think there were some Bellator fights that were coming up down the road that still weren't canceled, like San Jose, Pachanga, for example. Is it the Pachanga, the casino where you guys are at in Temecula? Isn't that a reservation land?
It is reservation land. And maybe it's Pachanga, but I don't think so. If I had to guess, I'd say Pachanga has got a contract with Bellator that nobody else can do shows there. That would be my guess. So I don't think it would be Pachanga.
That was my thought too. And then, I mean, I'm trying to think about all these different, I guess we just have to wait until it comes out. But I was like, yeah, that's a consideration. Maybe Bellator has exclusivity there. But then again, who knows, man, with UFC, maybe they went into the vault, into the deep pockets to try and work a deal out with Bellator, but I don't know. That doesn't even seem likely. So I'm kind of with you in that camp. There's an Indian reservation north of Las Vegas, not too far from where I live. Actually, it's about a 15-minute drive. I was kind of hoping. I was like, that'd be awesome if it was there, but I don't know. To me, I don't want to put any salt in your game, because you are in the opening fight of the card against Ryan Spann. So you went from a super tough light heavyweight to another one, right from the frying pan into the fire, so to speak. A former LFA light heavyweight champion, a guy who's on a hell of a run. Scary dude, man. What happened when they told you that the opponent was going to be different? What was the conversation like?
Well, we said, yeah, let's do it. And then he said, oh yeah, who's the new opponent? And they said, oh, it's Ryan Spann. So, oh yeah, let's do it. So we looked at him, and I'm not going to say it's an easier fight. It's just a completely different fight. He's 6'5". He's got an 81-inch reach. He's a very imposing figure as far as his size. And I was gonna be the bigger fighter in the cage against Khalil, and I'm gonna be significantly smaller than this guy.
That guy's huge, man. He's like 6'5".
6'5", 80. John Jones is an 84-inch reach. This guy is an 81-inch reach.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so he's got some real talent. And then he's got this guillotine that gets everybody. I think he's got 17 wins, and he guillotined like 14 of them or something. It's just those long arms. So he's definitely a different opponent. I have a week to get ready for him, and I'm going to get ready for him and beat him up.
Yeah, so let's talk about the preparation, because during the time, Columbus was canceled, and then you were getting the emails, and there was just all that uncertainty. And obviously with the lockdowns and the restrictions and the guidance and everything like that, it's near impossible for anybody to fully train the way that you're supposed to for a fight camp. But at the same time, that kind of harkens back to the old days when there were no fight camps at all, right? So it's kind of like the fight camps are almost a luxury these days in a way compared to the early days.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't missed a workout. I'm not going to say where I've been working out or who I've been doing it with, but I have worked out 2 to 3 times a day, every day of the week since before my fight was canceled. So the virus has not slowed me down even a little bit. And yeah, I'm in good shape. I'm in great shape. She's ready for the weight cut right now. And I'm feeling sharp.
Does it give you any reservations though that going forward with a sporting event like this goes against all of the guidance that we're getting from the federal government, from the president himself, from Dana White's boy, and all his experts? They're saying don't leave the house. If you do, wear a mask, don't come into contact with other people, and it's changing rapidly. Does any of that concern you? No,
it doesn't scare me at all. And I've done an interview or two about the coronavirus and the way we're handling and everything, and I get so much shit once I tell them where I come down on it. But I'm watching the CDC numbers. I'm watching all the charts. I'm watching everything. I'm very aware of everything. Here's a good point. 2 weeks ago, they were predicted in New York there's going to be X amount of deaths. There is 1/4 of that number. So I'm aware of all the charts the charts are not correct. The data they're using are not correct. And I don't need to get too much into it, but
right.
I am not nervous about fighting there. I'm not nervous about any fallout of anything. I'm not nervous.
Matter
of fact, I'm pretty certain I had the coronavirus in January.
That's a possibility. It's a real possibility.
It wiped out my gym. And me, I'm actually one of the few. I never felt sick. I was one of the guys that just got it and didn't affect me. But my whole household went down with something in January. My whole gym went down with something in January.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And we weren't testing then, so the numbers of the cases are not necessarily accurate. You know, my wife is a medical professional, and she was kind of explaining that to me. She's like, that's why you're seeing these huge numbers now, because they weren't testing before.
Yeah.
And we think we might even have gone through. I'm telling you, man, we had some nasty sort of hybrid, sort of like super flu. My daughter, up until like a couple of weeks ago, man, was just in really bad shape. And
my kids all but my little middle, he didn't get it and I didn't get it, but all my other million kids got it. My everyone got it. And so I can't wait till the antibody tests come out. Once those come out, you get to really see how widespread and how low a percentage that this disease has been.
Maybe that guy in your family, maybe he's the one that created it, and he unleashed biological warfare on the world.
He was eating monkeys and bats the other day. I did see that.
Yeah. That's terrible parenting on your part, man. You should know better than that. Good God, man. Times are not that desperate. I mean, you know, you have to wait a while to get in Costco, but I'm not ready to eat roadkill just yet. So let's say that you're taking all of the necessary precautions as far as health-wise, and the UFC does that. And that's what Dana White's claiming that we're going to see, you know, tons of testing, health, safety precautions. And listen, this is a dangerous sport, so we always have that. Okay, so let's say all things equal. What about, do you have any trepidation about going somewhere that you don't even know where it is yet and then getting quarantined or not being able to then return back home to your family? I mean, that has to mess with your head.
My family goes with me. So
I knew that. I don't know why even I should know that. Yeah. I know that already about you.
Yeah,
okay.
If I get quarantined, they're quarantined with me. We're all quarantined right now. I'm just being quarantined somewhere else. No, I'm not scared of it. I'm not scared. I mean, the government has all the power in the world, and apparently us as Americans, we're very willing to give up our rights, as this coronavirus has shown us. So I'm not worried. I feel in the end, you know, what's the hashtag? Keep calm, carry on.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. But what I'm saying is, I guess, you know, the situation is so fluid and changes so often. What if that were to happen? Again, not trying to throw salt on you and your family here, but what happens then, though? You guys are all quarantined together. I mean, do you think that's a possibility? You could go to a state that then says, "Hey, we're locking the borders down. Nobody's getting in or out."
I'm constitutionally, they couldn't do that. They couldn't close the state border. They could keep me from going to Mexico, keep me getting back in from Mexico, maybe, but they couldn't close the state border like that. I mean, I'm not worried about the possibility of it. I'm keeping up to date as best I can, and all the information coming at me, and I'm not worried about it.
Fair enough. Well, you've been quarantined. We all have, and you've got. How many children in the household nowadays? Not including Chris Curtis.
Hey, Chris Curtis is not here.
Not anymore.
No, yeah, he jumped ship. We've got 5 kids.
5 kids.
5
you
kids.
And the lovely wife.
That's
7
right.
of y'all. How's it been, man? Because I only have 2 kids, and I got to say, anyone who tells me, and I've said this, that they're bored or they're running out of things to do, I'm like, you know what? Holler at your boy, because I will put your ass to work. I only have 2 kids. I'm teaching. I think I told you this. I'm teaching at UNLV now, so everything is shut down. So we're doing everything remotely now. Still in the military. Everything is being done remotely right now too for the reserves. And you know, with the kids obviously not being able to go to school, it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm busier than I've ever been. So what's it like in the Alvey household? Playing family man?
It's not that different from what I always do.
Same here.
Yeah, it's not my wife and I. She stayed home she's a stay-at-home mom with my fighting job and teaching the kids classes. That's the big difference. They don't take the kids classes with me anymore. But other than that, I work out in the morning. I'm home during the middle of the day. I work out at night and back at night. Nothing has changed that much for me. The biggest difference is my oldest kid is in first grade, and so we're figuring out school. We're trying to undo the damage that Common Core has done to her, and getting her back on phonics.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So
we're doing a lot more schoolwork. A lot more schoolwork here in the Alvey household than ever before.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Because like I said, I'm teaching university remotely, teaching preschool in-house.
Yeah,
it's quite a bit to get to, and then still trying to do these interviews and still trying to cover the sport. It hasn't been a whole lot to talk about until yesterday. The bombshell dropped, and I go, whoa! I got to start reaching out to people because I got like at least 6 like pretty good buddies or training partners that are on this thing, and I just want everybody to be safe. I want listen, I want to watch fights as much as anybody. So these are just weird, strange times. If they can pull it off, it will be a miracle. I have so many questions, but if it goes off and there's no crowd, we've already seen that in Brazil. That's not that big of a deal, honestly. Like, I don't know how it is fighting, but watching, it's really doesn't bother me that much to not have a crowd, to tell you the truth. And well, hell, you fought Ultimate Fighter, so that should be nothing to you either to actually get in there.
Yeah, I've even got more experience there. That's the thing. When you have over 70 fights, you've done everything. And that was Ultimate Fighter. I was at Mandalay Bay, and it was a big arena filled with Dana White, Shane Carwin, and Big Country. That was who got to watch the fight, and it went all right for me then. So I'm looking forward to the experience again.
You've done everything, but if you were to travel with you and your manager, your wife, and your kids during a global pandemic, one the likes of which we've never seen in our lifetime and never
except
will,
for H1N1, swine flu.
Well, you know what I mean. One that's had one that's had this kind of
one that
fallout.
we've reacted to so strongly.
Yeah, and I mean, to be able to pull that, then you really will have done it all, right? Gosh,
yes. Yeah, this will be another story that hopefully no other fighters in the ever again have to deal with. Oh, hopefully.
Well, like I said, I wish you guys all the best. I really just hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and and that's including from the virus itself, but also from the fighting. Let's not forget that part is very dangerous. That'll be the most dangerous thing that you do in all of this is getting in there with another human being and actually having a cage fight. And then on top of that, I don't know. I'm kind of with you too on the fact I'm a bit of a homebody, not just because I like to go out and do hiking and things like this, and obviously go to the gym. The gym is out of the question at the moment. Hiking, not necessarily, especially if you keep distance. That being said, though, I do work a lot from home, and I spend a lot of time here. So what I'm getting at, Sam Alvey, is I know that you spend a lot of time with your kids doing stuff. You play a little video games. You watch a little TV. I've been asking everybody lately, give me some of your quarantine life recommendations. What did you watch? What have you been playing? What are you up to?
Well, Disney Plus is like the cat's meow. It is like right up my alley. So I've
great.
rewatched the X-Men series from the early 90s. Rewatched all of that. I'm moving on to Spider-Man. My wife and I were almost done with the Tiger King. And Carol Baskins, she did it. That witch, Carol Baskins, she did it.
What do you mean? Like what episode? What point made you want to quit the show?
I didn't quit the show. We're almost done with it. I'm just.
Okay. I thought you were saying. Never mind. I thought you were saying Carol Baskin pissed you off.
No, that show's fantastic.
Oh, she did it. You mean she took her husband out?
Yeah. Allegedly. Yeah, you got to throw an allegedly. Yeah, she did.
Absolutely. One of your fellow, is it Wisconsinites? Wisconsinites. Ode Osborne was talking to me the other day, and we said the same thing. It's like, look, this guy literally told like a dozen people, "Oh, if I go missing, it's my wife. Like, if something happens to me, investigate her." Like, And Ode made a great point. He's like, really, like, this guy just went missing. He just left all his millions and his empire behind and disappeared. I don't think so, because all that money is accounted for, and Carol Baskin has it. Wow.
Yeah, she did it. She did it. There's no way she didn't do it.
I'm from North Texas, so that whole southern Oklahoma species of humans, if you can call them that, I've been aware of my whole life. And I've talked to so many people, and I've heard so much feedback from people who are like, I did not realize that those creatures even existed. And I go, man, you've never, there's some parts of the country that you ain't never been to, I can tell. Have you ever been down to Thackerville for the WinStar fights that Bellator does at the WinStar Casino? Have you ever had any teammates or anybody?
I've never been there.
That's it. I'll tell you what, the GW Ranch where all that stuff was filmed, I was looking at the map because I never heard of it, but it's literally it's just like up the road, maybe an hour or so north of that casino on 995, and then that's just like another hour or two north of Dallas. So that's my neck of the woods. What about video games, man? Don't you? By the way, you taught me the skill of letting the younger kids, because they're always going to hound you to want to play the game. Let them hold a controller that's not plugged in. I don't want the little guy there to hear.
Yeah.
My kids are outgrowing that now, or at least my son is. So I got him playing. We're playing old 64 games. I got WCW Revenge. I got WWF No Mercy. Doing a lot of Super Mario 3 lately.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Such a great game. You remember that one back when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
My wife is just like, she's like, how do you know? Because she doesn't know about the warp whistle. Because she's a girl, like boys, we knew about all that crap. And I go, she's like, how do you know about all these little secrets? I go, I've been playing this game for 30 years, lady. I've been playing this game since I was 9 years old.
Yeah. That game is as good today as it was then.
It really is. It's and just as frustrating too.
Yes.
Those old games. So what do you play? Do you play old school games? Do you play newer games?
I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, I should have known.
I actually that was the other thing. I finally showed all my kids. We went through all of the Star Wars, 1 through 9, and so now we're playing Fallen Order.
That game is awesome.
It's fantastic.
So we hired a babysitter to look after the kids during the daytime when I'm working, and she's a huge Star Wars fan. So I was like, well, let me break out this game that I just got, so you can talk me through it, because I'm sure I will need some help, at least getting the ball rolling. And it is a little frustrating when you first start off, but man, that game is beautiful. It's fun. I've only played through the first mission, but I cannot wait to binge that. I'm just so busy right now. But how far did you get?
I'm probably about halfway through right now.
Nice. And so far it's A+?
It's a lot of fun. I'm a Jedi. It's still my favorite. I mean, Knights of the Old Republic is still the best Star Wars game ever made. But Jedi Academy was a close number 2. It's not as good as Jedi Academy, but it might be my new number 3 Star Wars game.
I like the old Battlefront games on PS2. I don't like the newer, like the reboots, because they tried to add all those microtransactions and they made it. It's just a buzzkill, because it's like, first of all, there's not going to be enough people playing this game. It's not like a Battlefield or Call of Duty where everybody in the world is playing the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much cash you expect to grab. And then the other thing is, like, it just takes away from the gameplay. I don't know. But the old ones are great. Knights of the Old Republic I actually own, but I can never get into, because it's just, I don't know. Maybe because I didn't play it back in the day when it came out, and it is a little dated, and it's also hard. It's hard to play. Am I wrong?
Yeah. You got to give it another shot. Just talking about it makes me want to get it back out. I gotta see.
Maybe I'll have you like tutor me, because I tried to play through it and it was just I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get it. But I love the Jedi game, and even the Force Awakens. Those games were decent. I got to tell you though, Disney, you've watched through all the Star Wars stuff. I think that The Mandalorian is the best Star Wars to come out since the original trilogy. That's just my opinion. Buy or sell, Sam Alvey?
Yeah, it's pretty great, and it's so low tech, but you still getting the puppets, and it's a slower story. I love it. I loved it too.
I got to tell you, man, Jon Favreau is quickly becoming one of my favorites. The guy is just he's just a machine. You know, when you think back to like Swingers with Vince Vaughn, like his first movie, such a great movie. Have you ever seen that? It's classic. Yeah. Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Yeah.
And you know, I never, or PCU, that's an old movie from the 90s with Jeremy Piven's, and it's like it's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy of like today's outrage culture of like UC Berkeley, that kind of thing. But it's from 1990, and it's almost like a glimpse into the future. It's a campus that's just like that. Jeremy Piven's plays he's like a frat boy, and then Jon Favreau is in that movie. And who knew that guy would then revamp Iron Man and basically breathe life into the whole entire Marvel
superhero
cinematic
franchise,
universe with that movie? Because I remember when Iron Man was coming out, I was like, Iron Man? Like, Iron Man's not even that popular character. Like, you know, I thought Spider-Man would always be king or Batman of the movies.
Yep.
And then how wrong were we? And then he goes and does what he did in The Mandalorian. It's great. Man.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, it's just a perfect Star Wars setting, perfect everything. I can't wait for season 2.
Oh, any word on when that's coming? I don't know.
Probably not for a long time.
And I just love to look at Gina Carano any chance I get, man. And I don't know if your old lady can hear you talking, so you can just wink if you agree with me, okay? Because I know we all agree. Well, Sam, listen, man, I'm just as surprised as anybody about this. I don't know what else to say. Like I said, I don't want to be negative. I'm concerned about a lot of the logistical roadblocks, but Dana has a plan. All of you guys, you know, all 22 of you that have agreed to do this, you're doing so of your own free will, and you know the risks involved, just like you do with fighting. So there's no big surprise there that you guys would remain fearless in the face of this uncertain situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just, man, I wish you the best of luck on everything, dude. And I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today because the announcement just came out, and I'm sure people are going to be wanting to talk to everybody and get our heads wrapped around this thing. Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking me to back on. Yeah, brother. All right, man. Well, listen, dude, I don't know when this lockdown is coming off, but, you know, I will be seeing you soon. And if not, I'll be seeing you hopefully on pay-per-view, because I tell you this, as soon as that bell rings, if this thing is 100% go, you bet my $70 is going to UFC, and I'll be tuning in, man, so to support you guys. But it's on ESPN. So you want to? Yeah, it's an ESPN card. Right. You don't have to spend the $70. I thought the rest of it they were going to do pay-per-view, though. Last I heard was it's not going to be pay-per-view. It's going to be ESPN. I hope not. Yeah, I just can't imagine how they would. Yeah, that's a hard sell. Like getting people to shell out money when people are losing jobs like crazy, and people are getting stimulus checks just to be able to buy groceries. Man, I mean that's craziness. But all right, brother. Yeah, man. Hopefully not pay-per-view. I'd love to save 70, but either way, you've got my full support and blessing as always. Thank you. Yeah, because you needed that. Without that, I couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it. You're my favorite. You're my favorite ginger, Sam Alvey. Keep smiling, brother. Fantastic. Hey, thank you very much, sir. Later. All right, bye, buddy.